Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. This is just a quickie video on changing the fluid in the stick shift transmission on this 13 C6 Z06 Corvette. I'm going to put in some redline full synthetic super light shock proof. I got a recommendation from one of my friends that this works pretty well in this C6Z transmission. So I've got the car up, jack stands are underneath there. I checked it to be level, and I'm going to go under with a couple of wrenches and drain her out. I would suggest that you remove the filler plug first, because if you remove the drain plug first and you can't get at the filler, you're kind of screwed. It's a little tight, so I'm going to bring 3 different wrenches. The plug has a little 3/8 hole in it to get it out. This is where we're talking about. I already pulled this. This got a sensor on the drain plug, and this is the fill plug up here. It's on the driver's side. I need 2 hands here. A little bit of a tranny fluid bath there. Kind of hard to avoid, but wear gloves if you want to wear gloves, or I don't know, do something. It's a messy job no matter what. The fluid looks nice and red and clear, but this is a used car to me, and I have no idea what people have done to it before. I think it was pretty excellent. I think it's all stock pretty much. It only had about 8,000 miles when I got it, but I'm still doing this as a precaution. And I'll do the differential after I do this. That's another video. Okay, it's a 22 millimeter on the drain, and then a 3/8 drive on the fill. By the way, on my C5 Z06, I used that for the transmission, but I'm trying this other fluid for my C6 Z06. This is just a cheap little pump that works pretty good. The little extension reaches all the way to the bottom of the bottle, and I've used it for years. I'm not going to show a picture of me pumping the fluid in. You can just imagine what that is, okay? There's your 2 plugs. I'm going to clean that sealant off of there and put some fresh sealant on there. Can't stand drips. For the fluid I took out, I'm going to try and measure it. See how much there was. I'm informed that it's about 4.5 quarts, so anyway, the fluid looks okay. That's a gallon jug, so I'd say about 3.5 came out. So if you're buying the stuff, only buy 4. There's probably a bunch of nooks and crannies inside of the transmission where it doesn't drain out. The 4.5 is probably a dry fill number, so if you had it rebuilt and you're doing a dry fill, then go 4.5. Otherwise, just get 4. The threads don't have to be perfectly clean. Just take a wire brush and clean out. Yeah, that's good enough. Be careful with the sensor. So these are like a pipe thread. They have a taper to them, but you want to also put sealant on them. Let's see what I got. Don't use anything like Loctite. I've got some gasket sealer, some Teflon, and the yellow Teflon tape is meant for petrochemical fluids. Kind of have better luck with these kinds rather than the tape. This does say it's good for screw thread connections, and this is, they call it aviation, so I don't know. I think I'll go with that. This is more for plumbing, I would say. Well, this one does go up to 500 F, so I think you could use that also. Okay, I'm going to go under and stick that in there. I don't know if there's a torque spec. I'm just going to use my sense of tightness. Finely honed over 60 or so years of working on vehicles. Okay, let's start pumping. I do want to show you what this looks like, because when I started pumping I had a clear tube and I was like, ew. Kind of looks like eggnog, right? It has more viscosity to it, and that's not a scientific measurement. I'm just going by how it pours. More viscosity than that red fluid that came out. The red fluid that came out is very much like this D4 ATF, which is also red in color, but the viscosity. So this is what I'm putting in. I sure hope it's going to work. Just going by my touch, it does seem to be as slippery, if you can trust your touch. Let me read the label a little bit more.